Well, hi everyone. If you don't know me, my name is Joshua. I am our Director of Client Success. So excited to have a chance to connect with you all and talk with you today about Tech Director Toolbox. Today's session will focus mainly on the asset portion of things. We will not be talking too much about help desk or identity. We'll be focusing more so on the asset portion of things. We'll be, like I said, specifically, we'll be working through virtual device labels. These are distinct from your printout labels. And then we'll talk through Tech Check, which is a new feature that is getting released. It should be next week. My team can correct me if I'm wrong, but it should be next week or the week after. So that's coming out this May. But that is a completely new feature. So we wanted to walk with you all through that before it comes out so you're aware of how it works. But those are the primary concerns for today. All right, so I'm going to talk through bulk assigning of labels, how that works. We'll talk through OU mapping by device labels. That's a new filter we've actually released a while back now. If you haven't seen it, if you use or leverage organizational unit automations, you are able to do that now by labels, those mappings. And when do those devices get moved, we also want to talk about. So this is super important about how things get moved, when they get moved, and so forth. So if you're in your TDT asset, feel free to follow along on my screen or hop into your instance and follow along that way as well. I'm going to navigate over to the device management bar here, and we'll go ahead and click on what's called device org unit automations. So a couple things. Well, actually, we should probably start with labels, shouldn't we? If you come to device and go to devices and click on device labels here, this is where you have the ability to create those. So device labels are meant to give you more granularity within the software than just having homeroom, building, device name, device location, group it's associated to, those kind of things. Label management is meant to give you more granularity, and these are searchable from your universal search screen, and they are also accessible in reports, and they are able to be put on devices in bulk. You can also do these one-off, but these allow you to come in and hit create a label, and these are custom labels that we could say, we'll go storage closet number one. And then we can pick, you can categorize these by color as well if that's helpful. So we could go like a bright blue here, and then we do give you access to selecting icons here. And so I'll go ahead and hit like a cloud button, hit create, and you'll notice that does allow me to have that populate inside of the labels here. Labels are really great for maybe you have devices that live in carts, but you are physically assigning them to a student still. So if you're K through 4, are devices that you're assigning to carts, but you're wanting to keep track of who has them. One of the ways that you can mitigate this is by assigning those devices to a physical student and then putting that label on there to show, hey, it lives in cart 202. So if that's one of the ways that you're doing things right now, or you've got things going to an individual student in a cart, labels are a good way to go around just assigning them to a cart or a group. So a couple of other options you'll see here is disposed. We've got ADP, loaners, maintenance labels, etc. There's lots of options or ideas you could come from here. One thing I want to highlight about disposed, personally, I think labels are super helpful for devices that you're going to be retiring. So we have a status inside the software called decommission, and then labels allow you to categorize what kind of decommission that is. Is it getting recycled? Is it getting disposed? Is it in transition? Maybe you've cannibalized it for parts. Labels, I think, is really great for that when you're keeping track of what type of decommission is going on with that device. Especially, we recommend not deleting things from the system even once they're decommissioned, since you might need that data for historical purposes. So if someone comes to you later and says, hey, what happened to all these devices we purchased with the PO number? Even if they're out of rotation, you could say, hey, we recycled those 20 devices and through a buyback program. Or maybe you're using labels to say, hey, these 20 decommissioned devices we actually cannibalized, and you can find those in our parts inventory. So I do think labels are really helpful, especially for decommissioned or no longer in use devices. Coming over to device tab here, going into organization unit automations. Like I said, we have now enabled you all to add device labels as a field here. And so I can add, go ahead and migrate all the devices that have the tag or label as disposed. And maybe I want those to go directly into, we'll pretend that the staff is a disposed unit. But you could easily migrate any device that has that label into that folder, regardless of the assignment type. So even if it's unassigned, if it has that label, you're able to push things into that. One of the things about creating mappings is that they are not retroactive. So if you're creating new mappings, that mapping does not take effect until you make those actions happen. So for example, if I set up this mapping here for the labels disposed, and I set where that org unit should go to, and I hit create, you don't have to worry about it going and grabbing things that have that. In fact, what we'll do is we'll give you the ability to move to say, hey, I want to migrate those things now. Allie, go ahead.
Not to completely derail us, but one of the new features that is also showing up on this view right now is the priority box, which is right below what the MDM type is. That just allows you guys to start to have a little bit more flexibility around which OU mappings take priority. So if a device meets criteria for more than one mapping, this allows you to kind of pick and choose which one should have the higher priority. I don't want to get completely off topic, but if that's something that you guys are interested in and you need some help with, once that new release comes out, which is scheduled for the 21st of this month, feel free to reach out to Josh, Clay, Austin, or I, and we can definitely hop on a call and walk through some of that with you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, sorry, that is not next Wednesday. One of us doesn't know how to math. So that is April or May, not April, May 21st is when the release will come out for Tech Check and for the updates to this. Now, labels migration does already exist. So if you're looking in your site right now and you're in OU migrations, this does already exist. The new format you're seeing, you probably won't see in yours. But device properties will be where the labels are going to be located on May 21st. That's what the UI is going to look like. We are hoping this UI change helps give you some clarity instead of having things stacked. Again, this is not retroactive. This is anything that you make changes to moving forward, but we do give you the ability to say, once I make these automations, I want to go ahead and hit migration. It will then grab things retroactively. So if you're looking to kick things off automatically, create those mappings and then go make changes and it will bump them. But again, don't worry, you still can do retroactive. We just don't do it by default. We give that power to you rather than automating that. One thing I want to highlight, and especially in org unit automations and mappings, things do not move unless you ask the system to. So one thing I want to highlight, this top level default OU, this is for any time a device is unassigned. If you do not want devices moved to a different OU when they're unassigned, do not edit this first level and add something here, because if you do unassign anything, it will migrate it to that location. If that's something that's helpful for you all to say, hey, when we have devices that are unassigned, we don't want them staying in the same OU. You want them migrated to very specific OU. You do have the ability to do that. But that's what that first default OU is. It's for devices that are unassigned. If you have any questions about that, please drop them in the chat. We'll get to those as we go through here. But I wanted to highlight and emphasize that first one, that is how this level is working. And again, things do not move unless you hit the OU migration or you've set up the mappings. All right. So those are the priority items we wanted to cover for labels today, and how they're functioning inside of OU mappings. Again, the new UI layout that you're seeing will get released on May 21st. All right. Going into Tech Check. So Tech Check is a completely new feature that's getting released. It's not an update. It's not an enhancement. It is a completely new style of keeping track of inventory. So we really want to take some time to walk through that today. So a lot of you all over the past few years have asked us, hey, we really want to be able to audit existing inventory, or I want to be able to audit classroom inventory or even carts to say, yep, I checked that cart, it's got everything. I need a last scan date and a who did it. And so it's easy to keep track of where things are. So our team walked along a couple schools to say, okay, how are you currently doing inventory auditing? What is your workflow? What do you want to see? And we developed this tool called Tech Check. This is great for sorry, for end of year practices, really, for your classrooms. Obviously, you could do this at beginning of year, but we've designed this to give you the ability to allow your teachers to even self-check to say, hey, these are the devices in my classroom. Here's what was supposed to be here according to my classroom list, or here's what I found something extra when I scanned this in my room. So again, we're not saying, hey, you should give your teachers more things to do at the end of the year, but one of the abilities you do have in here is to give your teachers or other staff access to self-check their own inventory in their classroom, as well as allowing you all to do this. So you'll notice here, we've already got some devices scanned or checked. And so we actually can show you. So we scan these devices. It shows the owner name. It shows the owner identifier. I can see what those devices were. It shows the status of that device too. So is it assigned? Is it unassigned? One of the helpful things about check status is that it's showing you if you were to scan a device in your room that's not assigned, that's a quick indicator to say, oh, this is an unassigned device. Why is it living here? Because it should have a physical location or inventory. Checked by, or sorry, checked from, checked by, and checked date. So we're able to give you some of those records. Uh, to do this, I can actually do a tech check entry. I can add more. You can use your camera as well from your phone or from your tablet. If I click camera, it'll grab my face, so I'm not going to do that. But if I click use camera, it will allow you to scan devices from your handheld device as you're going room to room, and that will populate in the list here, and it will let you to confirm or deny if that was supposed to be there or not. Um, Checked versus stale. So stale allows you to mean that it hasn't been touched in a while. And team, correct me where I'm wrong. This is a new feature for all of us. So stale allows you to say, hey, I haven't checked it in a certain period of time. But you can also clear out this list depending on how often you want your audits to be inside of here. So for example, if I wanted my audits to be set, let me go over my system settings here. I can't remember where we put these settings.
I think it's actually under the configuration button that was on that page.
Oh my gosh, you're so right, Allie. Thank you. Um, this is new for me as well, so we're all walking through this together. So Tech Check allows you to mark things at unassignment, assignment, collect, and disperse, but then the time until a device is stale, you can set. So for example, if I check it and you're doing an audit, say once a year, then go ahead and mark that as 365. If you're doing 2 audits a year, maybe fall and spring, you'll want to put 180 so that, okay, when I go to do that again, I'll mark it stale, meaning it's no longer in our audit process. And we want to scan it again to show that, yes, it is still in that classroom. We're good to go. We did our audit, and you're not getting an alert for a stale device. So you do have the ability. And then you can also show the stale device icon on the device. So if you've scanned a device and it wasn't rescanned in a certain time period, you could easily have that populate on the physical device card when you're searching as well. I'm going to pause for a second. I think I see questions popping in the chat so far.
So for clarity around when this feature is going to be released, this feature is coming out as part of our May 21st release. That's the release that's going to go out to everybody. When it comes to early access or beta testing, we can actually get you guys on that track. We usually do deployments of that on Tuesday and Thursday evenings after hours. So if you decide, between today and tomorrow, like, yeah, I really want that, can I get on the deployment schedule for Thursday evening? Just submit a support ticket and let us know. Really, this is probably one of the last releases until we get to this summer before we move into that like more permanent early access. You opt into it for the whole school year. That's just because infrastructurally, the way that we serve your guys' sites is going to be changing. So you kind of have to opt into it for the whole year and receive those early access versions throughout the whole school year rather than just opting into them ad hoc like we have been able to over the past couple of years. So for this one, for Tech Check, just reach out and let us know. And we can definitely get you guys on that early release before the 21st if you want to try it out and kick the tires.
Awesome. A couple things I want to highlight in regard to Tech Check as well is that Tech Check aims to make you aware of stale assets, well, stale meaning not scanned, by providing you with details on what hasn't been checked in. So there are things that these assets should have been assigned to an owner or to be contacted, and it's still around in good working order, but it may be something that leading to discovery, allowing you to discover, okay, maybe it's lost or misplaced, obviously, or maybe stolen. So stale assets allows you to say, okay, when was this last touched? When was this last checked? Obviously, with student and staff devices that are physically getting assigned in and out, those you're typically seeing more frequently. But this tech check is really helpful for that physical inventory auditing in classrooms, carts, things that are you're not checking as often versus the staff and student devices typically. Couple other things I want to highlight around Tech Check as well is that we do have some things in progress. So, like I said, that staff access and being able to configure for staff to sign in and be a basic user where they can access Tech Check, that's currently in progress. And then notifications to owners of stale assets is something that's in progress as well. So, this is the very first version of Tech Check that's being released. We're working to enhance this. We wanted to get this out though, so that you, as you're thinking about best practices at end of year, I need to know my classroom inventory. As we all know, obviously, projectors shouldn't grow legs and leave the classroom, but things like that, where you're saying, okay, I need to go room to room and see what's missing or see what's there. This is great for that. And then we're going to be continuing to enhance this product, or not product, but feature, I should say, within TDT Asset. So just wanted to highlight that this is not the full end of this. We are going to be continuing to add to Tech Check. All right. Let me see if there's anything else we've missed here today. Those are I guess the big things. I know that was quite short. Are there any questions or thoughts, comments, concerns regarding the new Tech Check feature? I know that's something that's completely new. Y'all haven't seen this before. It's not an enhancement. It's brand new. Thoughts or questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, or we can unmute you as well if you have that. Those are the big things we had scheduled or slated for today was labels, OU management with labels, and the new inventory auditing called Tech Check. One last thing I guess I want to highlight that I totally forgot. Reporting for Tech Check is getting added as well. Right now, it's not necessarily filters in the report side of things, but we will be adding that as well. So you are able to see it. You can see past Tech Check here, but for specifically in the reports log, you will be able to see that soon. We just have not implemented that quite yet. Like I said,
there are filters on the device report.
there are filters in the device report. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
if you
Yeah, just a
navigate to it.
couple.
Just a couple.
Yeah, couple basic ones like a check date that you can use or whether the device is stale, and then it's in the exports as well. It'll tell you if a device is stale.
Oh, perfect. Thank you for correcting me.
That's okay.
Any other final thoughts or questions from everyone that's attending? Those are the big things, like I said, we wanted to highlight today that's getting published in the May 21st release. Okay. Well, if there's no questions or comments in the chat, we'll give you back 40 minutes of your day. We always schedule just a little extra time in case people have questions or need things. Saxon, I see you raise your hand. I can unmute you. Go a lot of talk. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to check in with the labels. You mentioned that we could have it assigned to like say a cart. So we have in each of our schools. Sorry, I got trying to clean Chromebooks too. We have spare carts in the libraries in all the schools, and if the student has an issue with a Chromebook, that's where they'll take it and then they'll check out a spare. Right now, they just sign a sheet of paper. and it doesn't really get assigned to them. So sometimes those get lost, right? So if we have them labeled, like you said, like labeled to that library cart, it would still show up if I was to say have the librarians assign them temporarily to the students so that we know where they're at all times?
If I'm understanding correctly, yes. So what? Yeah, what they're where they're physically are supposed to be located. You could use a label for that, and so I could say this device label. We could call it Library Cart 1, and then I could assign that label to all those devices, and then you still have the ability then to go to new student assignment, and I could check it out as a daily loaner. So I know, okay, this device is assigned to the student, but it's supposed to live in the library cart. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that helps. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you're totally able to do that.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's really nice about the labels as well, is that like that sticks to the device regardless of what state it's in, whether it's assigned, whether it's, needs repair, whether it's a loaner. The labels are there just so that you have something that's, always stuck to that device.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Other thoughts or questions from anyone? Feel free to request to talk. We're happy to unmute you. Or you can drop it in the chat. Team, any other comments or questions from y'all before we wrap up today's webinar? Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you all for participating today. I appreciate y'all hopping in and listening to the new features that have come out. If you need anything, please email support@learn21.org. Please don't email us directly. As you all know, as you're part of tech teams, it's hard to keep track of sometimes of tickets that come into our mailboxes. So please email support@learn21.org, and we will take care of you as best we can. And happy Wednesday, and have a great day, everyone.